Hello and welcome back to Cancer Council ACT's Let's Chat Sex, Intimacy and Cancer podcast. Last episode, we started talking about what causes a decreased libido. To help us navigate how we can manage this, I've brought back sex therapist Andrea Ardelano. Hello and welcome, Andrea.
Hi, Ash, and thank you for having me back.
So, Andrea, what are some strategies to manage decreased libido?
The first thing I think of is the need to have the information available to clients from the very beginning. And that doesn't mean on day one of the diagnosis, but soon after. As a health practitioner, Ash, we have a vital role to play in this. We need to talk and normalize the potential impact of sexual desire and make sure that no one walks out thinking this is about them or their relationships. And if we don't bring it up for anyone who is listening to this or has read anything about sexual intimacy and cancer, I hope that everything that you have read or listened to is giving you the assurance and confidence that this is an important part of your quality of life and that you can ask your treating team for information and support.
Information, by the sounds of things, incredibly important to help educate the individual. Now, when people think strategies, their mind might go to the physical side of things, but Andrea, how important is the emotional side of intimacy?
So, Ash, I'm going to use this analogy of brakes and accelerators, just like in driving a car. So, accelerators move us along towards intimacy and sexual expression, while brakes stop the process, just like in a car. So, one of the most impactful accelerators that I can think of would have to be open communication and deep listening in relationship. That means that people have a chance to express their feelings, fears and expectations and have that heard, so couple can feel more understood and connected. Research suggests that people that talk about their sexual needs report being more satisfied with their sexual lives. They don't necessarily have a better sexual life. Their experience of it is more satisfactory. I think that this is so applicable in the context of cancer as well, because that communication and letting each other know what's happening in a time of change is so important. Intimacy doesn't always have to mean sex, and I think we've covered that in previous podcasts. The simple act of cuddling, holding hands, or sharing a massage can help maintain closeness and affection. Talking with each other about what you like and enjoy, and allowing time for this play and experimentation can lead to a lot of pleasure with or without intercourse. Often people tell me that their bodies feel different and they don't know anymore what feels okay. They don't want to be touched by someone else. They've been touched by doctors and nurses as part of their treatment. So it's hard to ask for what you like and what you desire when you don't know that yourself, when you are not open to that yourself anymore. So part of regaining confidence in your own body as a sexual body can occur by giving yourself permission and time to explore your body and get to know how it feels now. And the other part is that most people, put a great amount of value on spontaneity, desire leading the way and being the sign that sexual intimacy is on the table. We also know, and I'm assuming consent when I say this, and assuming willingness and full consent on both parts, that one cannot really feel like it, so not having desire, but start engaging in sexual play, and then desire can arise from that. So again, assuming willingness and consent, desire or libido doesn't need to lead the way. If loss of libido is impacting the relationship, another important resource would be engaging in couples counselling with a clinician who has experience in sexual health counselling. Loss of desire can be frustrating, grief-stricken for both partners, and understanding the complexity of sexual desire and reframing this for the current circumstances can help couples work towards creating something new and relevant for them for the now. And that assumption that we spoke about earlier, that sexual desire must lead the way to intimacy, can be removed.
Those are some really good points about how we can expand our ideas of what intimacy is, and that, again, assuming consent and willingness, that desire or libido doesn't need to be the start of that intimacy journey, but can occur during it. Okay, so what about physical symptoms then? Pain or other factors that can occur as a result of the cancer or the treatment?
So they would be our breaks, right? Because if the person is experiencing pain, vaginal dryness or fatigue or any other discomfort, or not feeling safe in the relationship or having conflict in the relationship, these are really important things to address. None of these are going to be accelerators for sexual intimacy. I work with some amazing pelvic floor physiotherapists that assure me that sex never has to be painful. So any treatment for pain, being seeing a physiotherapist, using vaginal moisturizers, and always using lubricant for penetration can reduce the fear of engaging in sexual activities. So it's removing that foot off the brake. Fatigue is the other big factor that we seldom talk about, but being tired can have a very different meaning and impact during and after treatment. So low libido might correlate with the level of fatigue you experience, right? So making time for when you do have the energy and feel more rested, it would be really important.
It seems to also be a really important take-home message, Andrea, that we have specialists who can help with a decreased libido in a more active way, as well as looking at the psychosocial side of the situation. Andrea, I also wanted to echo what you said earlier and hope that today's podcast gives our listeners the assurance that this is a really important issue and that you can ask your treating team about it. We also have a link just below in the description to put any questions you may want us to answer in any future episodes. Andrea, thank you as always for joining us. Thank you to all our listeners, and bye for now.
Thank you, Ash. Thank you, listeners.